Hey, I'm Jack from the Print Lab. The printers we use here are pretty good, but you still need to be in the know to make sure your prints look right. Let's take a look at how to do that.
The Print Lab will accept the following file formats. Photoshop. This one's pretty easy. Just hit save in Photoshop, and if you set it up right, you're good to go. PDF files. Probably your best bet if it's got type or if it's some kind of page layout. JPEGs. Not for a design project, but for a photo, sure. TIFF files. These are probably your best bet if it's a raster image. And PNG.
Hey, you're back already. Another thing that's important to know is making sure your image is at the right scale and resolution. Let's take a look at how to do that when you're setting up a new document.
In order to print correctly, your file needs to be at the correct resolution, which is the number of pixels per inch. The Print Lab needs at least 300, and at the correct scale. This is the overall size of your document, but it's not necessarily related to resolution. When you're creating a document in Illustrator or InDesign, there are two big important things about it that need to be right. One, it needs to be the correct size, which your professor will probably tell you, and two, it needs to have a bleed. A bleed is extra buffer space around the edges of your document that lets you do things like have a colored background or let objects run off the page without it looking weird or having white edges. It's usually a good idea to set your bleed to about 1/4 inch. Then you can go ahead and create your document. When your piece is finished and you're ready to export it, it's the best idea to go to Export As, scroll down here and select TIFF. Also, make sure you check Use Artboards, so instead of just the size of the object on the page, your file is the size of the paper you're printing on. Set your color mode to CMYK, your resolution to high, that's 300 dots per inch, and anti-aliasing is not super important. Then you should be good to go. You can load that onto a flash drive, take it over to us, and it should print no problem. In Photoshop, it's a little different. You don't really have a bleed setting, so you need to just make your document a little larger than the paper you'll be printing on. In this case, 9 by 11.5 inches should be just fine. Make sure your resolution stays at 300 pixels per inch. You might be tempted to go higher, thinking it'll look better, but what you'll end up doing is make a document that's way too large to print. For most commercial printers, you'd want to set your color mode to CMYK, but we can handle either CMYK or RGB without a problem. Exporting from Photoshop is also a little bit more complicated. You'll want to go to File, Export, Export As, and set your file format to either PNG or TIFF. If you set your canvas up at the right size, you shouldn't touch any of these numbers. Just make sure that scale stays at 100%. Then you should be good to go. You can also save directly in Photoshop, bring us a PSD file, and we'll print that.
Now you know everything you need to make sure your prints look good. And remember, don't print the stuff that's wrong.